Risk of Rain 2, a game developed by Hopoo Games and published by Gearbox. Risk of Rain 2 is a roguelike game that has many amazing aspects to the game. Its main appeal is to have you stupidly OP by being able to stack items on top of each other, but that's just a front. The game constantly gets harder when you take your time getting more items and fighting enemies, and it gets to a point where you have a chance to get one shot. We must traverse through multiple areas of the planet to end up on the moon to defeat the final boss. I have beaten this game before, but I wanted to make a video on it because it's just that great of a game. Now let's get started. So I started off the game with my current profile because I already beat the game and I do not feel like doing everything all over again. I chose single player and play my favorite class and the best class for solo runs, Engineer. And most of you might ask, why is Engineer the best in the game? His turrets are absolutely broken. Every item you collect as an engineer ends up on your turrets, so all the stacks of common and uncommon, boss and legendaries all get thrown onto the turrets. And you will see throughout the video how dumb this is. So our whole kit is bouncing grenades, spider mines, bubble shield, and auto turret. We're playing on Rainstorm, and I made it so I could pick artifacts because it's more fun that way. So we start off in the Titanic Plains and we meet some enemies, and to be honest, I completely forgot the controls until I saw them in the bottom right. So we start off with collecting money through killing enemies or opening little capsules, and money is very important because if you have too little of it, it's quite difficult to continue forward, because in order to obtain items, you need money to open the crates. Now let's take a quick pause. You see the top right where it says easy? That will constantly be rising throughout the whole game, making the game difficult, but not difficult enough for me. We now must search for the teleporter so we can summon a specific boss to fight and allow us to continue. And side note, there is no specific spot for a teleporter, it is always randomized. After finding the teleporter after obtaining the Hopoo feather that gives an extra jump, bustling fungus that creates a healing zone, sticky bomb that has a chance to deal damage to enemies, armor piercing round that deals 20% extra damage, tougher times that has a chance to block damage, and an ATG missile Mark 1 that has a 10% chance to deal 300% damage. We now must fight the Stone Titan that was extremely easy. Every time we beat a boss, we are able to obtain an item either uncommon or a boss item, and we got an uncommon, so I chose the Will-O-Wisp that spawns a lava pillar and does damage. After that, we wait for the teleport to activate within the red area so we can move on to the next area. I scout around for any leftover chests and I find one and get 2 war banners that raises attack and movement speed, and also grab a crowbar that deals damage to enemies above 90 health, and another sticky bomb. After that, we activate the teleporter and move on to the next area. We are now in the abandoned aqueduct, and right off the spawn we find a lunar pod, and to be completely honest, I think all the items out of it are just plain ass. There's an upside to them, but the downside is just as heavy, so I feel like there's no real point in getting them. Anyways, we explore around and find a chest that drops a legendary, and I go with the Brilliant Behemoth, and let me just say, this is one of the most broken things on the turret, because all attacks explode within a 4-meter radius with a bonus of 60% of total damage. We move a bit further and we find the equipment crate that holds many items that can be activated with Q and can have very good uses. I personally like the radar scanner because it reveals everything that is interactable on the whole map and also shows me where the teleporter is. After obtaining the lens maker glasses that now gives us a 10% chance to crit, we go to the teleporter and face the boss, the Beetle Queen, that was disposed of very quickly. After waiting a bit, we activate the teleporter and move on. We are now at Rally Point Delta, a snowy camp and home of the loud-ass bighorn bison. We instantly find a teleporter, but it wouldn't be fun if we didn't grab more items, right? We obtain a very good item called the Rose Buckler that reduces incoming damage while sprinting, which is kinda broken because you sprint most of the game anyways. We also have energy drinks that make us faster and can help us get away from the screaming bison. There are also these annoying little imps that deal bleed damage when they hit you and can mess up any run if hit by many of them. I speak from experience. We now activate the teleporter and fight the Imp Overlord that didn't even get to fight back. We get the Shattered Spleen that allows us to deal bleed on critical strikes and the bleeding enemies explode, and it works really well with the lens maker glasses. After the teleporter is charged, a blue portal appears, and who wouldn't go through a suspicious portal? We are now in the bazaar between time, and I forgot that everything in this room is complete garbage. The only thing that is good is that you could pick where to go next, but I don't even remember where all the places are, so I pick with my eyes closed and move on. We end up in the Standard Grove, and I notice we are at insane difficulty, and that's not very good because there are enemies that deal AoE damage in this area, and that's not very fun to go up against, especially when they almost ruin your run. This place is hell to navigate through because when you want to go up a level, you have to go up the tree roots, and it's kinda annoying considering how high most of them are from the ground. Can't forget that there's fall damage. We activate the teleport, and now we have to face the Wandering Vagrant. That is a boss that has ended many of my runs because of its wide scale attack, not to mention that there's always more than one of them. You can't forget though, the turrets are busted in solo considering everything you see here is stacked on top of the turret and they can use all of them. After the boss fight, we get the charged perforator that has a chance to strike lightning after a hit. Now we have to wait patiently for the teleporter to finish charging. Unfortunately, there is nothing for me to do since my turrets are just killing everything. We now move on to the second last area. Now we are in the last area before the moon, Sky Meadow, which is a unique looking place but is filled with very bright and dangerous enemies. This place has many secrets in it, but I don't know of any of them, so maybe I'll tackle them another time. The difficulty meter now says I'm coming for you, which is very creepy and not of any worry. We do a little bit of exploring through the whole map, just finding items, and I got another legendary, and I picked up Dio's best friend that allows me to cheat death one time. I didn't notice that we got to the next difficulty, that is just endless ha 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 ha, and enemies just constantly spawn, so I just ran away and got to the teleporter. We end up getting the Solus control unit, and it gets just absolutely obliterated. Like, it's actually insane how much damage you can do with this many items. But now we have to wait quite a long time for the teleporter because that wasn't even a boss fight, that was just an encounter. After that, we wait for the teleporter and now head off to the moon. We have arrived at the final destination, the moon of Petrik or 5. We spawn in this abandoned looking area and we head outside of it to see what we have to do here. And we see a ship covered with a barrier and we must find a way to release it. So, since I already know what to do, I will get straight to it. We must activate 4 pillars to be able to get to the top platform held by the hand in the middle to get to the last boss. The final pillars are the pillars Mass, Design, Soul, and Blood. After activating that, we must go to a jump pad that takes us all the way to the top. Once we reach the top, we must now face the final boss, Mithrix, King of Nothing. Mithrix has 4 phases to his fight. The first one, you fight him head on with him swinging his hammer at you, and it's extremely easy to dodge. He has one move where he goes in the air and does a slam to create a shockwave, or you just hop over it. After obliterating his first phase, you now must face the lunar chimeras in the second phase, which are just the enemies that you encounter when landing on the moon. Once you defeat them, Mithrix comes back with the third phase, new moveset, so now he can spin around and slam flame pillars and also create them smashing into the ground. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't last long. He then returns to the middle to start the fourth phase, where he takes all of your items and attaches it to his body, and you must keep hitting him to get them back. After a few bombs and being hit by a turret, we finally defeat Mithrix and obtain all of our items back, and he disintegrates and the moon's detonation starts. We now have 3 minutes to get off the moon. I end up wasting a minute because I forgot how to get off the top, but we just had to jump in a blue ball. After that, we rush to the rescue ship and defend it until it's fully charged and we can get off the moon. The moon then explodes and the credits start rolling. Dang, what a wild ride this game was. Definitely an amazing play even though it was my third time beating it. I think this definitely is a game that everyone should try once in their life because there's a lot of secrets and many more playable characters in it, and everyone should try out this game. Who knows, it might spark something and you might try more roguelike games. I'd like to thank everyone that watched this video. It was very fun playing this game again and making a video on it. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you all have a great day.